house.
Are you kidding
and
me?
Bianca Belair with...
Welcome to the most must-see WWE talk show in history. Welcome to Miz TV.
Hey, this is TBK here. Got another good one for you guys today. We'll talk about Love in WWE Episode 2 recap. A recap of Love in WWE Episode 2 of Bianca and Montez. The show that is on the Hulu app. Now, I did Episode 1, and this is a follow-up to Episode 1. So, we're going to talk about what's going on in this particular episode. This is, like I said, a little bit of recap of Episode 1. They talk about the lives of Bianca and Montez, and they're unsure. Bianca's sending mixed signals if she wants a baby or not, because she feels like she knows that Montez wants a baby, and her family, wants one too. But we're going to see, what's going on. Now, in the show, they talk about that they will see a fertility doctor. Now, when they go see a fertility doctor, he will give them their options to decide what they should do, how much time should be off, and everything, like how much time Bianca will be off and everything like that. So, but meanwhile, while they're doing the process of that, there's also that Bianca, they're getting ready for WrestleMania season, and this dates back to late 2022 going into 23, so maybe December, January-ish, right, a little bit after Royal Rumble. But I know that they talk about Montez Ford. I know him and Dawkins have a talk, and the talk they have is he's unsure about his solo career. And the reason he's unsure about his solo career, because he wants to do something epic. He wants to do something different. And the different thing he wants to do that he said in the last episode, he wants to slam Otis. And he said that before, he wants to slam, but he's kind of unsure if he can, because Otis is 5 times his size, as he said in the last episode. But he still think he can do it. I know Dawkins let him know, Otis had a whole bunch of steak and he ate a lot. Hopefully you can do it. And he's letting Montez know that if you're not able to slam him, we're gonna roast you. And I know that's putting pressure on Montez for that alone. And then hopefully that he feel like he can do that, on his end for that matter. Because I believe that, Montez not only has pressure for that, but the pressure will be also on his wife, Bianca. And what do I mean by that? Well, the thing about it is, he know his wife previously did with Otis. She slammed him. She didn't slam, she carried him. And he eventually does do that. He does the same thing. I think he's doing that to hopefully, match what his wife did. Because he wants to do something memorable that nobody will forget. If people remember, nobody will forget. Because he wants to do something memorable, just like Bianca did. So he wants to follow. He said it. He said Bianca started, and I want to finish it up. So Montez wants to follow that. He wants to finish that up. And not only wants to finish it up, hopefully, it starts his solo career. That's what happened between when she did it. That was a big moment for her. When he slammed, people knew about it, but it didn't get as much popularity like it did with Bianca carried Otis. And that was back on SmackDown, as you see through the Thunderdome era, because there was no fans, only at home. So it was a while back. But it's definitely something that Montez wants to do. So I know that's really getting him. He said he doesn't, but he did. He does, you know, he does want to have his own solo career, you know. Now he also, not only he said that later on, he said that to a friend of his, a childhood friend, that Bianca is heading into her third straight WrestleMania. She has a solidified spot as far as her name, and of course in the women's division, he just still has to find one. He is still struggling to find his spot on the main roster where he could be, somewhere stable. And he's in a tag team. He's not a singles competitor, but I know he wants to go solo. But like I say, he's unsure about solo career. He don't know if it's going to work. He don't know what he needs to do to make himself go from tag team specialist to go to a solo competitor and have a successful solo career, similar to Edge, Booker T, and many others that follow that path, Shawn Michaels as well. But, it seemed like Montez was very, very like at the crossroads as far as will it work or won't work, and what do I need to do to go solo as being a solo competitor in the WWE. Will it work or will it don't work? Meanwhile, we have Bianca. She talks to her best friend Janae, and it's about having a baby. Now, her best friend Janae, she has a 2-year-old son, and Bianca's talked to her about it. Bianca feel like she kind of said last episode, she's having pressure from her husband Montez, from her own mother, and then Montez's mother. So she's kind of unsure if she should make that move, because she know that's a big step transitioning into motherhood, while also at the same time having a very, very established career, while she's at the top of her career at this moment. So she's really unsure about that, but Bianca wants to do it. Part of her does, but I feel like a part of her doesn't, because she knows she has to take time off, and how it would be, being a mother and everything else. So it seems like Bianca's unsure what she should do next. So she's still unsure. It seemed like just like the last episode. But I know it was a particular spot in the episode, particular point where Montez and Bianca was talking, and she said, I know I have kids, I can feed them chicken nuggets and all that. And he said, and Montez made the comments that feed them first, feed them chicken nuggets. So I know that's something that Bianca thinks about, and I know, she said her family really wants to have a baby, and then too, similar to Becky Lynch years ago, you have to put your career on hold for a little while if you're going to have a baby, especially if more than one. So that's something that Bianca, I know she consistently thinks about. So, but other than that, though, Bianca's, happy how everything's going in her life. Great career, got a great husband, and they're working together in the WWE. They're doing, Bianca's doing great. Montez doing, he's doing great in the tag team, but it's just a solo that Montez is unsure about. Meanwhile, later on in the episode, at one point while they was on the road, they was ready to go back home. Montez grabbed the last rental car, and Bianca, wanted some alone time with Montez while on the road. She made a joke, say, give me those gas station flowers, which I thought was funny. And, and then Montez, while they're ready to go, we see Dawkins. He gets to the car, and he talks about, how you guys getting home. And Montez, paused for a moment, and he said, I got the last rental car. And then, Montez, he looked, Dawkins like, man, I got the car, but Dawkins also said shotgun, And Bianca looked at Montez Whisper saying, he's not getting shotgun. She said, no, all he's gonna do is fart, and blah blah blah, and yada yada such. And Dog was right there. He heard everything. He said, y'all whispering game is horrible. Step it up. And Montez let her know, like, hey, you did call shotgun. That's what we do. And also, he didn't want to leave Dawkins behind. And he, even though say shotgun, as you see here in the still, he's still sat in the back. But they still all rode together. And Bianca said, what's the purpose of having, a child? We already got one. It's a 13-year-old boy trapped inside Dawkins' body. She said he farts. Basically, he's obnoxious. She said, that's what she said to sum it all up. But I know she wants some alone time with Montez, as they don't get that much time on the road so much. And Dawkins, being the third leg, kind of bothered her. That's the way I saw it. But other than that, seemed like they had a good time. All three of them. I know Dawkins and Ford is close, and I know Bianca's cool with Dawkins. He just wants some low time with her husband, which is understandable, totally understandable. Meanwhile, near the end of the episode, we have Bianca and Montez. They finally go to see that fertility doctor that they've been talking about. So they go see him. We talk to see how they're doing. And Bianca, she's considering motherhood. She her biological clock is ticking. Says she's 34 years old, and and the doctor lets her know what her options are. Said, hey, you're gonna be out for a while, with the pregnancy, and of course taking maternity leave. Now, he told her that she will be out approximately 12 to 15 months if she decides to have the baby. So, it's like I said, I know that's something that Montez really wants. And I know Bianca, like I said, she's pretty much like a part of her does, part of her doesn't. But the fertility doctor, he was letting him know, she will be out for a while. Something to think about, of course, her age and everything else. But, at the end of this episode, we don't know what happens next. It's kind of like, what's going to happen next as far as that goes. But I do believe it would be great if I like to see them with a baby. It'd be great. They've been married since 2018. But I know that it's something that she's on and off about, seems like to me. But at least they took a good step to go see a fertility doctor and seeing what they want to do next. So at least they're taking a step there. But other than that, I think they'll be fine. I think Bianca needs to fully make up her mind of what she wants to do and just stick with it, because the mixed signals will throw everything off, not just for herself, but for Montez as well. So hopefully she'll figure out something and have a concrete answer if she decides she wants to have a baby or not. But I'm pretty sure she will be a great mother. It's just she knows she has to put a career on hold. But other than that, I think it will be fine. It's just a decision that she has to make. A life-term decision. Because once you have, and also too, when women have children, especially women like Bianca who have a great physique, and as an athlete, your body's never the same for what women say. So I know Bianca knows that. Unless they decide to have a surrogate, body's never the same. So it's a lot to think about. But other than that, great episode, and I will cover episode 3, and we'll follow it from episode 2 here and move on to episode 3. See what happens next in the Love and WWE TV reality series. So definitely something to check out. But thank you all. That is the end of Love and WWE episode 2 recap. A recap of Love and WWE episode 2. Now, soon 2 videos will pop up on YouTube. If you guys like this episode here, I do have the first episode check out the episode of Love in WWE, episode 1 recap. Also, check out another video. She's champ for almost a year. The next challengers, that's regarding Rhea Ripley, her run as Women's World Champion. Until then, it is OUT.